yet.
Ahoy, hoy.
Hey! Ooh, ahoy, hoy, ahora.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Lucia and I share the same brain.
I love you both.
It's eerie sometimes.
Ahoy, hoy, and welcome to Players in Book, our little slice of chaos on the internet where we do a D&D campaign and existentially crises ourselves. I'm Jeremiah Sumerian. Katie, what do you got going on?
You're muted.
Good.
You are muted. You are muted.
But y'all could hear Jeremiah, right?
Jim? Yeah.
Am
Just
I good?
Goblin.
Okay.
Just the Goblin.
Okay, for some reason, it keeps defaulting, so I've got to go into my OBS settings. I am sorry. You should be able to hear me now. In the grand tradition, I was muted.
We have dispelled magic
Yes.
on the Cone of Silence.
It's a special goblin
On
mode
Goblin?
setting. Yes, it is. Can y'all hear me now? I just want to make sure.
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, got it. My name is Katie Downey, aka Goblin Katie. I am your friendly neighborhood shenanigator. You can find me on all the socials at Goblin Katie, and on Blue Sky, you can find me at goblinkatie.com. I will be playing Tallulah O'Draken tonight, formerly known as Mena, formerly known as Dominique Gemont. I'm collecting names. They're like Pokemon. But yeah, big shout out to Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. They give us these wonderful codes each week, and it is a fabulous idle play game. You can get it on your phone and PC. It's awesome. And our code for this week, I was like reading them off. So our code for this week is Quaid. Wait, what? Oh, wait, I've got something for this.
I
Please
hope
tell me
it's
it's
gonna
about
be
pull
what
over.
I think it is.
I mean, if it's a total recall.
That was my head. Sorry.
Did you bump your head?
I did. I just smacked my head on my mic.
Well, the expletive for that is...
Quaid way. Hoot.
You went with the who. I was going with the Quaid.
The Quaid, yeah. I
Yeah.
heard you talk about Total Recall.
Quaid way.
Yeah.
Hoot. I got my own mask. See?
But I
They're
think
pretty.
this is actually a word. I don't mean to veer too far off topic,
Is it
but
really?
that's what we do. It's actually I think it's pronounced Cade.
Hey,
And the only reason that I know this is because it is one of the few Q words that I could get away with spelling in Scrabble without a U.
Oh, what is it? Do you know what it means?
I do not know what it means,
Okay.
but I
Got
will
to find out.
we
All
can
right, yeah,
find
you
out.
Google that while I throw things over to. Oh wait, and quick shout out to our mods, Strike Red Kite and Billith. We heart you.
Yay,
Thank
mods.
you. Now I'm gonna throw it over to Lauren.
Hi, I'm Lauren Urban. I'm playing Fairlos, the Tabaxi cleric, and you don't want to hear about all about me or my character, but what you want to do is see her, because guess what? Character art is here, and I get to be first. Is
Ready?
it on the screen? Is it on the screen?
It's almost 3,
Come,
2,
come.
1. Boom!
Check her out. Yeah, that's my girl. That's Fairlos. We're getting character art done by a little artist you might know as Luke McCay. At LukeMcCay.com. Just do Luke McCay wherever you are doing socials, and he is there. And so, yeah, Fairlos got to be first, and I'm so excited. And yes, for full transparency, for those that don't know, Luke McCay is my partner and is awesome, and I love him, and he's the best artist ever of all time, which is why we hired him. Absolutely, it had nothing to do with him being my partner. He's just the best ever of all time. I can say that on the internet because I believe it's true.
And he is a
It's
very
true.
sneaky cough drop smuggler.
That too.
Yeah.
That experience. Anyway, we are going to be showing character art coming out slowly over the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned. But yes, this literally just came in like an hour or two before the show, so y'all in chat are the first to see it. And if you would like to hire Luke McCay to do your art, whether it's for your D&D character or for something else, yeah, go check him out at he's Luke McCay on Bisky, and he's if you do a message to him, there's also an email that you can go to, or you can just ask me, and I will walk over there and I will ask him because he's lovely. Also, I'm in flannel and I'm so happy right now. Thank you.
Lovely. Love it.
Hello. I am Jen Kretschmer. I am not currently in flannel, and I'm very jealous of Lauren's cozy clothes. You can find me on the interwebs as Dreamwisp, on Bisky as dreamwisp.bisky.social, and on Twitch as DreamWispJen. I am playing your friendly neighborhood tsunami druid, Rivulet, who will be your gifter of existential crises today.
Yay.
Yay.
Hi, I'm Latia Jaquise, and Cade is an Arabic word that means commander or leader.
Nice.
Hey, thank you.
So now
Awesome.
you have a new word in your back pocket that you can take and put into your stories respectfully with honor and deference to its place of origin. And that is something that is very much like what Essequa Havenwright would say, which is who I play. She is a dragonborn blade singer wizard, who might actually be having an existential crisis over the fact that she might be in a play. That happened.
Wait, as in going to perform in one,
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
I mean,
we've been told that.
yeah, that she's going to
Essequa's
perform in
gonna-
one. But are you actually like in one? Is Essequa the character
Oh,
in a?
am Essequa in the play? I'm not Essequa right now, but is Essequa in the play? Oh God. Well,
Plays the thing.
That would be. The
I was
thing,
about to
wouldn't it?
say that.
I mean, who better to play Essequa than Essequa?
Than Essequa, indeed.
Yeah,
So
play within the
that's-
play, within the actual play.
It's turtles
Is-
all the way
Oh,
down.
I see. It's plays all the way down.
Nice.
Plays all
But
the way
yeah.
down.
That's me and my little bubble of the corner of the internet here. Yay.
Yay.
And as I mentioned before, I'm Jeremiah Sumerian. You might have noticed we have new logo art.
Wow.
Also courtesy of Luke McCay. Let me go through the credits real quick, and then maybe we'll stop really quickly and talk about that logo. Cartography by Shane Peku. Cartography by Shane Peku Sci-Fi. Maps by Luke Stratton. Maps by Eightfold Paper. Music by Tabletop Audio. Character tokens by Greek 46. Custom tokens by Shane Peku Tokens. Overlay art by Packstream. Custom world map by Freckles Sketches. And the new logo by Luke McCay. What do you guys think?
Whoa!
Awesome.
Oh my
Super
gosh! It's
cool.
So cool.
It's so good.
We are
I'm-
carrying on the tradition of great logo artists. Yes.
I mean, y'all
Thank
know
you.
what
Shout
I
out to
think.
Billith for the first one. Much
Look.
appreciated.
Phyllis, the first octopus was adorable.
Yeah.
Adorable.
Adorable.
So
The fact that we
cute.
had some difficulties, just tell a little story for behind the scenes. I don't know if I've said this on stream before, but we had some difficulties getting a logo together on time before our first episode. And a friend of mine, Billith, I was just like, listen, it was like the 2 days before, and one of I want to say it wasn't
Billith came
due to
through.
yeah.
Is
It wasn't due
basically
to bad
the,
prior
the
planning on my
gist.
part, but we just were finally like, I don't think we're gonna get that on delivered on time. So, hey, Bill, can you please help me out? And in like an hour, Billith was able to put together something that was not
Super
just
cute.
serviceable but quite useful and very cute.
Amazing.
So I just want to make sure we never forget where we came from.
Yes.
Uh,
Hey,
but
are
what were you
we?
gonna say?
Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, but I'm Jeremiah Sumerian. You can find me on the socials at I'm D Sumerian everywhere. And I just want to remind everybody I have a start playing game that I
Yeah.
am putting
Yep.
together. Currently, our schedule, and it is a little flexible if people need to if scheduling, and we can talk about it. But current schedule is 6 p.m. on Central Standard Time on Fridays. It is called the Sky High City, and it is about a group of gnomes, no, halflings and goblins who have stolen their city rather than get conscripted into the dwarven army, like some of the other people on board your ship currently have already been conscripted. And yeah, I'm hoping that you guys can play. I've also decided to set it up so that the first 2 sessions will be free.
Oh,
You have to-
that's
if
cool.
you'd like to give it a try.
Very nice.
And I believe you were about to interrupt me earlier because you wanted to go into the introduction or the
Yeah, I
little
was just
opening
gonna
scene.
see. I forgot that you hadn't gone yet, because
Yeah, I always go last because
Yeah.
you guys are more important.
I'm I will reach through
That's-
this computer, sir.
I'm just gonna say that is
Incorrect.
categorically not true because if we don't have you, we don't have a story.
Yeah,
That's fair.
it would basically be the 4 of us just kind of sitting here going, Shakespeare's cool.
I think that would still have quite an audience, but
Perhaps
It's a very different stream, though.
it
It's
is.
not
It's a different
Yeah.
this actual play.
Yeah.
It is a.
but
All
let's
right.
I mean, I'm happy to do that.
see.
Also,
Oh yes.
which we have
anytime,
in
at
the
the drop of a
bonus
hat.
action.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Intro video. Go.
Is it going?
No, because I was in studio mode again. Intro video. Go. Okay, we're back. Hi.
Yay!
Hi.
Hello.
I gotta say, out of all the characters that I've either played with or had or DM'd for, I feel like Furlos is the most likely to wear a flannel shirt, so it is somewhat appropriate that
Yeah.
Lauren is currently in flannel.
I
That
mean,
tracks.
it gets cold when you are in the water, and flannel is the best way to keep yourself warm. And
She's also from a pretty cold town.
It's only because Sim hasn't met Orkira.
I mean,
Yes.
there's that too. There's that too.
Facts.
Is that just your? Is that just like a character archetype you tend to return to sometimes?
Well, that's more the cleric support character in general. Is kind
That's
of
fair.
my jam. But no, Orkira is a fire creature from the plane of fire who is all about fire.
Orkira is the sweetest and yet most vicious cinnamon bun you will ever meet.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
maybe
it's
that's my
spicy
character
cinnamon.
type because I take that. Yeah. Anyway, I'm cosplaying as Fairlos, wearing all
Oh
of this
my
flannel.
God.
It makes me happy. I should get an orange and
This
black. Sorry.
Is episode 22 of Player and Book's first campaign, The Secondhand Souls. Previously on Players and Book. Just Desserts. Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. The Princess Bride.
Yes.
The second-hand souls are minutes away from being boarded by the DFS Fortitude. Preparing, the headmaster goes invisible, also granting the trickster the same benefit. The dwarves arrive, and after some back and forth, begin a search of the lessons learned. While this is underway, the trickster begins to swim around the dwarven ship, discovering that the mithril barding covers the entire underside of the ship. After a few minutes, the first mate of the Fortitude asks Essequa if she knows the little Charity, the previous name of the lessons learned. Getting an unsatisfactory reply, the dwarves peer into Essequa's mind, coming away with what they seem to think is a satisfactory answer. After speaking with the lessons learned via Speak with Ships, The souls also discover that the captain of the Fortitude grew up on the little charity, and that its previous, now dead captain was the Fortitude captain's father. After the dwarves leave, a newly placed and much more sophisticated tracking rune is discovered and then removed from the lessons learned. From there, the trickster discovers that a spellcasting dwarf was left behind on the docks. The party capture and retrieve the magician, discovering that he was drafted into service against his will and that he is an expert in 2 different schools of magic. After some convincing, he agrees to join their crew as long as they'll protect him. It is 7:21 p.m. on Dawn's Day, the 22nd of Dreams. The sun is still up and will be for quite a while, and the Fortitude is sailing away from Avalon at speed in the distance, rather than circling back to the docks.
Latia?
Or
I have a
Essequa.
question. No, it's Latia. Before we get into this, I have a question.
Yes.
Is the narrator's decision to say my name intentional?
Oh, instead of your title.
You know, I was actually going to ask a similar question, which was, is the narrator's decision to call this person the magician?
The magician.
If you'll notice in the actual text, it is capitalized. The magician.
Nice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
If they're getting an archetype, don't.
Then I smell another book. But yeah, is it intentional that I'm not the scholar in this?
No, that was a mistake.
Fantastic. Okay.
I would
then I
roll.
don't have
I
to
would
be
roll with
concerned
it.
about it.
I really thought I gave it some consideration of rolling with it. I'm glad I delayed there slightly to think about it, and no, that was a mistake.
Okay,
The
that's
Totally
fine.
fine.
scholar.
I'm totally fine with it being a mistake, but words have meanings.
Yeah,
in
I don't
this.
want to. I don't want to do a lost thing where I keep introducing new elements that have to be juggled, and then never
That's-
paying them off.
Yeah, that's
Look,
fair.
my pin board is only going to get longer and wider and redder.
I don't need to add to it. I don't need to add to it with through recklessness. It's the point.
Good
Okay.
call.
But
Yeah.
you
Um,
guys are okay. So right now, I believe who is below decks with Karadag or Karadig?
Me.
Okay.
I was giving him a tour while they were having their talk and wanted to
Oh, right.
have a
I was sort of
conversation
on
with
the
him.
stairs.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
also want to point out, I don't think because we got into discussing with Karadig right away, I don't think I've told everybody yet about
No.
About what's his face and his father.
Correct.
I haven't said that to everybody yet.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, I think you were
Yeah.
correct. You haven't said
Not
that
yet.
Yeah. So yeah, I just
Um,
wanted to make sure that was still known, because I know we all know, but the characters do not all know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So while I'm giving him the tour of the ship, so they had a chance to talk, I just want to kind of turn to him at one point. I have a question for you.
Okay.
So we all kind of jumped on you up there. And, well, first off, I want to apologize for aiming a gun at you, but you did kind of fuck with our ship. So, even Steven. I didn't shoot you. Is that a yes? Because you're not speaking, and I need you to be honest here. If it's not even, then I need to make it up to you.
No, it's even. I'm a little it's a lot, you know?
It is a lot.
I
He's
don't
not
wanna-
used to kindness.
That kind of brings us to the second thing that I wanted to talk to you about. You have you've kind of been put on the spot by the 4 of us, and so I figured maybe just double checking one-on-one. Are you okay joining us?
Okay, so here's the thing. I've been looking for a way to jump ship for a while now.
Gotcha.
This is just sort of an opportunity for me to get the hell out of Dodge. My brother was my only other. Well, I technically have a nephew, but he managed to get out of the mountain homes. My brother got drafted along with us. He was another professor at the academy, But he ended up getting drafted and sent to some place called the Isle of Dreams.
Oh,
And as,
really?
and as far as I know, he didn't make it back. And I don't want that to happen to me. So
How I got a question, one more follow-up. What's going on with the dwarves in Brescia?
I don't know. It seems like they're allying, but like secretly on the side.
Gotcha. Interesting. I'm just kind of curious, because, I mean, obviously. But, just be careful. Because I'm a little... We're gonna protect you. Your crew now. Alright?
Part of the crew. Got it.
Alright. Let's get back upstairs and see what everybody's up to. They're probably done talking about us now. I'll
So I
lead him
know
back
we're
on
about-
deck.
Before you come up top, I know we're almost done here talking about him, but I guess that's my last question, and I can figure out a way to ask this of Tallulah when she gets back. But if we're gonna let him stay, are we comfortable telling him everything that's going on?
I think so. I think we have to prepare for a point where this doesn't necessarily become public knowledge, but it becomes more than just us. And I think it's a what's the word I'm looking for? I don't have it right now. It's a
Just-
go on, Riv.
I was just going to say, this is ancient secret knowledge that has been kept secret for over 1,000 years, which we are fiercely trying to protect, and we're talking about giving it away to someone who we met literally 10 minutes ago when they were working for the enemy. Or not, maybe not the enemy, because allies and enemies are very fluid and subjective sort of thing, but certainly not with people we were working with. It does feel a little bit presumptuous, perhaps.
Oh, to be fair, I don't think we should do it now. I just mean that a time may come, and I would be okay at the right time.
So
I think we should play it by ear.
I'll do what makes sense to y'all, but the reason I bring it up is because I don't think it's fair for him to come with when he doesn't know what's going on, especially considering how we're probably going to run into some more of his former crew. And on top of that, what we're dealing with is complicated, and Fairless will specifically look at Riv and say, and to be honest, I don't mind anyone knowing anything about my book or what's going on, because there's not much they can do about it. But I do feel like I don't want you put in a position where you have to say anything you're not comfortable with. So that's the situation I'm in. If y'all think we want to wait till a more appropriate time, just be aware I'm going to think that time is sooner rather than later.
Just there's information we aren't telling people we do trust. Why would we tell it to someone we don't?
I 100% agree.
And particularly when this information is potentially world-ending, we've been told. I don't know.
I 100%
On
agree
the other
with you.
hand, perhaps that's what's supposed to happen, and ultimately it doesn't matter.
Well, before we get into a conversation about what free will is, which I know we can have later, I 100% agree with you. That's one of the reasons I suggested he stay and go up to the college to be safe. Because I do feel like I mean, that's the reason we got Charles and all them off the ship, is we could only tell them so much, and we were at the point in where we can't really tell them anymore before all of that. Yeah?
Is
Yes, what?
Sim, did Marlo go back to the school, or is he still?
No, he's right here.
Okay.
Yeah. Because eventually our friend is
He
going
still
come
needs
back
to
up.
talk to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
still
I
needs
was
to
just
talk to you.
checking. Someone brought it
Yeah,
up in
yeah,
chat,
yeah,
and I
we
was
haven't
like,
just to clarify, Marlo had not wanted to be part of any of this conversation either. So if that were the case, then I wouldn't. I'm sorry. I thought Marlo
You guys
had
haven't talked in any
gone
specifics yet. So
elsewhere.
you guys
Yeah.
just completely been non-specific about what you're talking about.
That's
And
100 and
Marlo would absolutely excuse himself if he began to suspect that we would be
Yep.
talking about this.
I've been watching and waiting to see if
Okay.
you guys even veer slightly into specifics. You've been completely generic the entire time.
yeah.
Also, to be fair, Carady can also probably hear you. This is a very small ship.
I mean, Carity is a diviner. Like, he's an expert in divination. We're gonna have a really hard time.
also, to be
Sorry.
fair, I'm having active conversation with him, so he's got
Yeah.
a voice in the room with him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yeah,
think
these
that
com-
matters. when
Yeah,
you're
I'm
that level of
gauging that by
diviner.
Sim's face.
So there's two
Yeah,
things. Here's two things going on. One, even if he is listening on in either through divination or a small ship, once again, that's why we haven't said anything. That's specifically why Fairlos hasn't said anything specific. Everything we said is stuff that Marlo knows, and in fairness, Fro only knows a little bit more about the books and stuff.
You guys have just been generic, sort of dangerous stuff going on.
and
in
and,
this
and
entire
also, like,
conversation.
look,
Yeah.
if Tallulah can do the kind of divination she can do in terms of mind reading, if she can go to the depths she can go to as, you know, a baby, like, let's be real, we're pretty novice comparatively. Someone who's teaching this stuff,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess in some ways there are no secrets, right?
Well, and the other thing that I was going to say about that is I don't mind if he's heard any of this conversation, because we're talking about things concerning his safety. Yes, Esaqua?
No, I just wanted to remind. Well, I didn't want to remind you that I had something to say. I remembered what I was going to say because getting off topic made me forget what I was going to say. But I remember now. I think that we also have to consider. First off, you know, my mind goes a mile a minute sometimes, and this is one of those times. So I just want to acknowledge that I understand and validate everybody's concerns about what we're talking about here. But I also think that there will come a point where we will not be able to handle this ourselves. And so, to that point, finding people that we can place our trust in before we tell them stuff will be very important. So, I think this might be one of those times where we can try to begin to trust somebody with the information that we have, because it will be important. That's all.
One more question for I cannot remember his name, begins with a C.
Carady.
Thank
I
you.
call him Kara.
One more question for Kara. You didn't happen to hear anything about a strange book being brought back from the Isle of Dreams?
Oh yeah, there was. Yeah.
Do you know anything about it?
I do.
Oh,
I-
hold on. Let's jump up on deck for this part, if you don't mind.
Before you do that,
Yeah.
I just want to again highlight to Esaqua and Fairlos. Professor Whitaker has told us to basically guard this information with our lives. And we're sort of getting casual about it. And I think that's an important thing to just be wary of, because that's not something I think he would have told us to do lightly. Like, this is a 1,000+ year-old changeling who used to be a spy. I don't think he would say keep this secret unless it was information that really had to be guarded. And so I do think that there is a degree of, I think there are levels of what is shareable, and I think we are sort of jumping levels a whole lot. in who and what we're trusting and how quickly, and particularly before they've earned it. And you know, this was a situation where we've given someone an opportunity to prove themselves, but I think being cautious to a higher degree, and I know I'm in the minority on this, but I think there are really solid reasons to most information is not this information.
Riv, if it helps, I do not think you are in the minority. In fact, if I had the sole say, I would tell him to go with Marlowe up to the college. It's the safest for him, it's the safest for us, and it means we don't have to worry about telling him everything. That being said, I understand why his skill set is appealing, and I do think Essequa has a point that we are going to need allies as we go forward because our
Absolutely.
enemies still have them. So we just need to. I won't tell him anything until you tell me so, but if I'm constantly asking, now's the time, just know it is 100% because I feel awkward having people on the ship who don't know all what's going on. And it's not a black or white thing. It is a big gray area, and we're just going to have to navigate it the best we can.
We're still in the same day that we used the sending stones, right?
Yeah,
I think so.
because we used
'cause
them
we
when
just
we got
arrived.
on the island.
Yeah.
Okay.
Essequa is after following Fearless's conversation, Essequa is going to sit down, pull her old spell book out of her bag, and begin writing something. And that's just what she's doing for the next roughly 11 minutes.
I think we all recognize you're doing a ritual of some sort. Let her cook.
Yep.
Well, okay, yeah, they so I was in constant back and forth contact with my brother
Yeah.
pretty much every day. And he said that they found a big book, like really, really large, but almost as big as a person. With the title The Light That Never Shines.
The light that never shines. That's interesting. All right. Do you any idea what it means?
He wasn't able to get anywhere near it.
Hmm.
It was-
That seems like it would make sense.
Also, can you tell your friends I don't need to know what's up?
Being weird.
You don't need to know.
I mean, not for a while. I'm just happy to have people that are willing to, keep me safe.
I'll tell him. Insight
Okay, go ahead.
with my terrible insight score.
Against a diviner illusionist.
Yeah.
I mean, we already know his deception is actually real bad.
His
17.
deception,
Yeah, it's
both
true.
his deception
Or no.
and
Was that a
persuasion
17?
were
Yeah,
bad.
17.
In fact, charisma was his dump stat.
That's why he's an expert diviner and illusionist. He uses the magic and not the charisma.
Yeah.
Which I get. I 100% get.
All right, that's a 16 minus 1 for a 15.
Okay. So I got him. Is he telling the truth?
Yeah.
Is he hiding anything?
Sure.
Okay. I'll tell him. I appreciate it. That you seem like a good sort.
No, I'm awful.
Ha! Just wait till you get to know me better. Come on, let's go up. Or do you want me to go up and speak with them privately first?
I don't know. It might be a little weird. You should let them know I can kind of hear everything they're saying anyway, but
Sure.
I don't want to be like, I feel like it'd be weird if I went up there and we had that and I was like in front of them.
I mean, you're
and being
gonna
like,
hear what
"Hey,
we're
man."
saying, so it seems like
Right,
it's not.
but if I come out and say it myself
right.
to them in as like a group, that comes across as though I'm trying to be intimidating,
Sure.
and I'm not that. You
No,
know, like,
I
I
I
heard
get that
you
vibe.
guys talking about me while I was downstairs.
Right. All right. Let me go talk to him. You go get yourself a snack in the galley.
Ooh.
Right? And
Oh,
I will.
Also,
Oh.
do you guys have? I could cook something.
You can cook?
Yes.
All right. Have at. We'll consider this your test. And I will turn and head upstairs.
Fair enough.
So, it's a small ship. It's a very small ship, and it's not hard to hear what's being said when you're below deck. So, just
We weren't
so,
yelling this time.
huh?
There was no yelling this
No,
time.
there
Speaking
wasn't.
very quietly.
It was, but he is very good at what he does. So, anyway, he said he doesn't need to know whatever you were talking about.
Which
He
is
doesn't
why
need to
he
know
was
that.
listening in.
I don't think he was meaning to, because he was having a full conversation with me at the same time.
You know, I almost respect him for listening in. Just like we have our suspicions
Valid.
of him only knowing us for less than an hour, there's no reason why he should trust us immediately.
True.
He has kind of some interesting things going on about him. His brother was actually stationed out at the Isle of Dreams. He doesn't think he made it back, but interesting fact, apparently they found a very big book, almost the size of a man or a woman, full size sort of thing, and it's called, was it The Light That Never...
The light that never
Shines.
shines.
The Light That Never Shines. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Crap.
But he's cooking us some grub right now. I'll tell you this much: when we were when he and I were sort of facing off underwater, before he came in, I kind of pried into his head, as I do, and he's not like the rest of the dwarves. He's very laid back, easygoing, not as keen on dominating and taking power. I think he's a good find.
Well, now I kind of wish that you had been able to listen to the entire conversation because it would
Oh,
make
I heard a
catching-
lot of it. Don't get me wrong.
You did?
I did, and
How?
I don't think you're wrong, Rivulet.
Wait,
have a
just to
nagging-
clarify for Jen, how
Yeah.
were you listening to that while you were having your conversation? We
Because
you
he
can't
said it was
hear
such
through
a
the
small
decks, right?
ship.
He was divining on us, right?
You absolutely okay. So if you
Yeah,
guys
this
have
is a good
spent
thing to
enough time on
clarify.
this ship, you guys have spent enough time on this ship. If somebody is on the bottom deck and you're on the top deck, right, and you're having
Mhm.
a conversation, it is not clear, but it's just like the floor of a house. If somebody is
Let me
wanting- and
retcon
so
then.
if you're in an active conversation, it would be very difficult to hear what.
Okay,
somebody else is
got it.
saying.
Let me
Okay.
retcon.
But if you're quiet or you're specifically listening or have some capability of specifically listening, it would be very easy to hear what's going on.
I don't-
especially if we were yelling about something.
What's my...
And if you're yelling, it's not
Yeah.
even.
Yeah, let
But
me...
But we
I
were
agree with
being-
Jen.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were all being quiet.
Yeah,
So this
my
is-
passive perception is 16. I don't
It
know
is.
that
That's not
would be
enough to
high
get you
enough.
that far. No.
Yeah.
It'd have to be like.
So let me
super weird.
retcon that. I don't know what y'all were talking about, but I can make an assumption based on him saying he doesn't need to know what we're doing. Is that, am I thinking of the right thing then?
I mean, I'll just say it again. We were having discussion about whether we need to tell him what's going on. In fairness to him, getting
He's
on
good
this
with
boat.
it. He's good with not knowing. He's just. He hasn't had a good life, I don't think. I think he's had quite a hard time. And he doesn't fit in with a lot of his people, and he's been trying to get off that ship for a while. I think he's been trying to jump ship from up north for a while. I say give him a trial period. Since he's not needing to know, he knows it's going to be dangerous. So let's give him a
Listen.
trial period before we give him detail.
I will be guided by all of you in this, but let me be clear on something. I don't care what he thinks he doesn't need to know. If he's on my ship, I feel like he deserves to know the danger he's gonna be in, and that includes knowing what he's walking into. It's and she's gonna look right at Tallulah. It's the secrets that cause the problems, and it's the reason that we didn't want to keep the rest of the students on the ship. So it's all fine and dandy that he's okay with being in the dark. I am not, but I will wait until we are all comfortable telling him whatever we want to know. We want him to know.
That's fair. I'm, what is she writing?
She's doing Essequa stuff. I figured we'd find out in about 30 seconds or so.
All right, then. Oh, I hit a button I didn't mean to hit. There we go.
no,
Okay,
buttons.
everything's fine.
Oh, fun. Okay.
I don't need to edit the episode title. We're fine.
You now very much want a character whose spells are all activated by buttons.
And then he's
I
clumsy and
want
does
I
the-
want a wild magic
the
sorcerer.
dogs who talk through the buttons.
Oh, that would be fun.
I want to do a wild
Right.
magic sorcerer who uses buttons for their spells, but all the buttons are mislabeled.
Oh, or they've rubbed off and you can't
Yes!
tell what they are.
Oh, they inherited something from their parent, and all the buttons have been rubbed clean.
Oh my gosh.
Like
They
an
just gotta
old
test.
keyboard.
Oh
just
my
gotta
god, I
test
love
everyone.
this.
Oh yeah, I like that. Yeah,
I
yeah.
love this.
That's fun. Okay, sorry,
Okay, anyways,
tangents.
sorry.
But
Kara-
every time you watch our show, you do get fun character ideas. We're gifting every week
Ta-da!
Kara,
from us
Kara,
to you.
Kara's gonna, because he was just waiting for you to say what you needed to say to Lula, really.
Yeah.
So Kara's gonna slowly creep up the stairs. Hi. Yeah. Hi. I'm.
Hi.
Kara, it's fine. Come on up.
Okay. Cool.
I will look over very quickly at Essequa. Is Essequa done with whatever
Yeah,
you're doing?
Es was done. Her book is closed. It's not the right time, but she's gonna just like make eye contact with you, give you a nod, and wander back over to see what's going on. I mean, she's been listening to the entire conversation, but it's been an exercise in creative writing over there
Okay.
for the last 11 minutes.
Hi.
And just to triple check, Marlowe is still here and
Yeah,
visible.
he's still here and
And-
visible, and he's just been hanging out.
And Fro
May-
is still here and obviously visible because he's
Yeah.
big.
One other question that I'm sorry, I wanted to try and get out before anything else happened, but if I can't, that's okay. But I would love it if one of the folks who can do detect magic could figure out if our friend Caradig has narrative magic on him.
Actually, that you say that, and that is something that Essequa probably also would have done given what she heard the narrator say. So yeah, give her another 10 minutes now that he's here.
Okay. Actually, you know what? I'm sorry. That I should leave that to Esqua because that I just realized that was metagaming. That there. Oh no, we heard about a book. That's okay. If
We
heard
heard about the book. No, I think
Which
this is actually a brilliant thing
justification
of
enough.
there's been stuff that Essequa has been wanting to say to us but hasn't because of the circumstances. Riv says the thing about we hear about the book. Riv says the thing about we should find out if he's got narrative magic. Essequa knows some of the extra stuff going on because of the
My
narrator.
list is
Okay.
just getting longer.
So justified.
I mean, this is the exact opposite of
Justification.
yeah, this is the exact
If you guys
opposite
are-
of that.
if you guys are worried about keeping things secret from me and I know you have no reason to trust me on this. I haven't finished it yet, but I have begun work on a spell that will actually keep people from being able to listen in on your conversations. This is a spell you already have, by the way, Esqua. Um, and I could possibly, if I believe you have a wizard amongst your party here, I could we could work together and we could maybe finish that spell, and then you
Yeah.
wouldn't have to worry about this sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's good to know. I'll be
Look,
clear with you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Please go ahead.
I'll be clear with you the same way I was just clear with everybody. My concern over you knowing things is because I feel like people on the ship going, who are on my crew deserve to know what's going on. But, and then I'll just look at Riv.
What I was going to say is, Carity, obviously, I felt that it was worth not jumping to the whole killing you thing for just the sake of, or turning you loose into the middle of the sea or whatever other options we had, and extending the invitation. But also with that comes the need to earn trust. Trust is earned, not given. Freely, within reason. Until we have a reason to distrust you, we will treat you with standard amounts of trust. But there are obviously things that we have a right to keep private, and there is an expectation of privacy for individuals on the ship to share what they want amongst each other, amongst friends. We respect that amongst ourselves, what people want to share and don't, and that's an expectation we will extend to you as well, both with what you want to share with us, but also what we are comfortable sharing with you, and knowing that you are a diviner, there is a fair expectation, I think, that you will be respectful with the use of your power as well.
Sure. And an illusionist. Those combined.
And an
make it very
illusionist as well.
difficult
But
to-
yes.
yeah.
In
fact,
transparency,
I think of myself-
in all things.
They made me teach divination, and I'm very good at it, but I really think of myself more as an illusionist than a diviner, but that's fair.
Absolutely. And respect to both disciplines. But just to be clear where we're coming from, and our expectations in terms of dynamics aboard the ship, and amongst each other and ourselves. There's a bit of trust but verify, and there may be things that we would like to keep private, and we will be honest with you about risk levels in things we are doing. We are not we're not a particularly low risk group, and trouble does often find us, or we find it, but more often it finds us. But also, I think you've seen how we tend to try and conduct ourselves. So if that all still sounds fair to you, I think we can work things out.
That sounds fair to me. Okay. I probably shouldn't bring this up. So okay.
Honesty is important, and if let's just put the tiger on the table. Sorry, Fairless.
When I was over on
Hey, I've seen Fairlow's party and get on the table, so once or twice.
That sounds really funny, actually. So
we were all on the table that night at the
I am
freshman year.
When I was over on the dwarven ship, they have and he pulls out of his pocket what looks like some sort of a necklace, like an amulet of some kind. And I don't know if I really don't want to have to put this back on again, but they gave me this, and it's supposed to suppress my natural magic abilities so that I can't listen in on people's stuff.
You don't have to suppress your natural abilities. That's not something we would ask you to do.
Okay.
We would just ask you to be respectful. We aren't going to ask people to diminish themselves here. That's not something that's fair to ask of anyone.
Loose lips sink ships.
Well,
There you go. Quite literally.
In that case, okay, can I give you this? It seems like it could be useful to you, and I don't want to have to ever wear it again.
Fairless will hold out a paw and take it, and in the process go. So it suppresses just any magical ability, or was it specifically attuned to you?
Well, it prevents whoever is wearing it from casting any spells.
That's good to know. And
Sorry.
then I think Fairless would be.
Do you have
Should
to
be-
attune to it?
I would assume not.
I don't think so. No.
I would
Yeah,
assume,
that doesn't feel like something that you would. No.
because then you
No.
just decide not to attune to it. Real quick, I
I
think.
was only allowed to take it off when I was off their ship. So
Yeah. I
Dang.
think it's fair that Fairless would know about stuff that hides you from divination, like
yeah,
you know, that kind
amulet
of
proof
thing.
against detection and location sort of stuff.
Yeah,
Crystals and yeah.
so that's the other thing that I'm going to ask real quick as I'm holding this necklace. Does it also prevent others from seeing you as a magician?
I don't know because they never put me in with other magic users. They kept me isolated and only put me in with the rest of the crew. This is the first time. Oh, we could see.
We could test it, and if you're uncomfortable putting it on, one of us, I'm sure, could try it.
I would.
Fairless
prefer
just
not to
takes it and
anymore.
puts it on because, like, magic, she has a lot of magic, but she also has a very large hammer. So feeling it go, the magic go away doesn't bother her as much.
Okay, so not only does your you not only lose the ability to cast spells, but also all of your magic items, except for your hammer, the one with the narrative magic on it, go non-magical.
It's
Gross.
basically an anti-magic sphere.
Kind of, yeah. And
Can I
so
try
Fairless will-
something, Fairless?
Absolutely. Just so you know, it's not just me. It's also my armor. I think my armor is the only other thing I have on me that is magical. No, I've got other stuff. It's my armor and Wanda and a bunch of stuff except for this. And she hefts the hammer.
I
Outside of
cast
the hammer.
message.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me?
Can
She
I?
can hear you.
I can, and I will try to respond as I would normally. Can I?
You cannot on your end.
Okay.
Even though the message originated from somebody else, the magical bit that allows you to send messages back does not work.
So I'll try to send the message, and then realizing that Tallulah is just still looking at me, I'll say out loud, I got it, but I can't send it back.
Here's another thing. If you were attuned to anything besides your hammer, you are no longer attuned to it and will have to restart the attunement process.
Oh,
That's
The
also good
monkey.
to know. So yeah, that is both my armor and the
To
pendant
the
that I have.
cleverest.
Yeah. Wait, pendant is that? No. The cleverest is not attunement.
Yeah, that's
Essequel just died inside.
Run away!
Yeah.
Get away
the-
from me.
This is
I
Essequel's worst nightmare. This is the pendant of Essequel's worst nightmare.
This is Essequel's existential crisis made manifest.
Oh my
You are-
gosh,
It is
that's
the
nickname of this
anti-Essequa.
item.
The
You are
Antiqua.
You are severed entirely from magic originating from yourself.
Ah.
Well, except for narrative magic, apparently.
Except for the hammer. I think that also, like,
Wait,
she's not.
Can you wait? Can you yield narrative magic, Fairless, at all? Other than like, are you
Are you
able
asking that out
to?
loud? I'm going to double check. Are you asking that out loud?
Oh
Which-
no, I'm not. I can't. No, that was a Jen asking Lauren question, but
That's yeah. Also,
Um,
for Lauren to answer Jen's question, the way I wield it is I hit people with my hammer.
you hit
I don't.
people with your hammer.
I use the hammer as my
Because
holy symbol.
what I'm wondering is,
essentially.
can you rewrite with narrative magic?
Mm.
Like, can you overwrite
Oh, interesting.
other forms? Hi, my name is Jen, and I'm gonna like create schools of magic like a weirdo.
I was about to say I don't know. If
do
Like
Carlos
stuff
an
can.
this, and
awesome
I'm
writer.
So sorry, Sim. I'm so sorry.
You're all right.
So
I'm sorry. Yeah, apologize for having fun in the game world I created. How dare you?
How
How?
dare
Ooh, toys!
Absolutely
Let me break
dare you.
things.
So just so you all know, and at this, Fairless looks annoyed. She looks like perturbed. None of this has like startled her or made her feel less than. She's just now annoyed. I'm gonna have to attune to a couple things again. It did break that. And she
Oh.
like shifts her armor a little bit, which still fits her fine, but now is no longer attuned to her. So I guess the other thing to double check is, am I at least shielded from other magic? I'm gonna guess no because of Tallulah's message, but we might as well
Trust
be
me?
certain. Huh?
Trust me?
Fairless looks at you for a very long time.
That's the wrong.
I'm
person
just
to say that.
grinning.
It's the wrong question.
I know.
Tallulah, you watch as she looks at you, face not moving for a very long time. And then she looks at Marlowe and she looks at Caradig. And with your hive and insight, she is saying this because they are there.
Uh-huh.
Sure.
You know, if you were to get mange, you would wind up looking like a small, balding member of Porthy Balin, I think. Vicious mockery.
Roll your saving throw.
Wisdom
It is
save?
Wisdom.
I was about to say, we know that magic affects me.
Also, your roll your saving throw at disadvantage.
Okay.
Well, we know that
Oh.
message happens.
We know
but
message
don't
happened.
know
We
if
don't know about
damage-
offensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
17.
Okay, you pass.
My wisdom is pretty damn good. Do I get half damage on that one?
Let me see.
No, that's a cantrip. That's gonna be probably 0.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I get that mixed up with the other one that, yeah. So nothing happens, and I just kind of sigh and go, what I meant was divination magic. If you try to scry or look on, can you see me?
I will say.
So wait, the offensive magic did not.
Let's
or
let's.
did-
She
let's-
made her
let's-
save.
Oh,
Yep,
okay.
let's interpret that real quick. Furlos.
Yes.
One, you felt the spell begin to try and take effect. You also felt your mental defenses being weaker than normal.
Okay.
You
Um,
can choose to save or fail a save, correct?
Yeah,
could.
you can choose to
You-
fail a save.
Yeah. I think in this case she wouldn't have because
It's Tallulah.
well, and even more than that, it's the whole idea of she really did mean like just divination magic.
Fair.
Yeah.
So yeah, she'll say that, and she'll say, if you really want to try something again, I'm pretty sure spells are still gonna affect me because this made it harder for me to resist whatever you just tried to do. But well, what I really mean is,
Tried to really, really hurt your feelings.
yeah, that's not the way to do it. You already
No.
know the way to do it.
I think Fairless meant more of the. Oh.
I just grin.
What I think Fairless meant was more of the divination stuff. Like try to detect Fairless's thoughts.
Fair.
Think
Detect
that is-
thoughts.
I can
Alright.
detect Fairless's thoughts.
Oh,
This is
let's both
terrible.
go.
I hate every second
Right,
of it.
this is not a spell. It's just accurate.
I cast detect
No,
thoughts.
Riv knows that, and
That
it's
is-
just
I
She
believe
was
still a
fine until like
wisdom
this
save.
moment, and now it's like she's just
well-
looking at Kerrigan, being like, "I thought you were a diviner. Can't you do the divining thing where you look at stuff? I just want to know if you can divine me."
I absolutely could have. I didn't want to. It seems like you guys. I don't want to. You guys like have this whole sort of thing going on, and I don't want to.
the
Trust
thing
me.
we have is called respect. Mutual
Right.
respect.
Yeah.
So just ask first.
I'm just kind of over here. I don't want. I'm just staying on the outside of the conversation and just. When I first meet people, I sometimes I don't just jump immediately into conversations. I like to like stand and kind of observe people and see how they interact with each other first.
Oh,
Get
I
a-
do
get a
that
sense of-
too.
Oh, okay.
You wouldn't know it because I'm talking a lot today. I don't know why, but yeah, I get that.
I can
Okay.
respect that. In this case, I'm inviting you into the conversation specifically.
Well, let's
Can
let's
you
resolve detect
define?
thoughts.
Yeah.
Well, right at this point, let's resolve detect thoughts. First of all, I mean, detect
There is a
thoughts
wisdom
works.
save, but
That's
Only
if
if
you
you
want to
go
dive
deeper.
in. Is that what you're
yeah.
planning on doing?
No,
Okay.
I'm just going to do surface.
Well, then it works. That automatically works.
And it's
What's
Fairlos who is having this conversation with Carrot.
Carity.
Carrot.
you guys are supposed to call him Kara?
Yeah,
He did
that's
say
what
that
I'm
you could
going
just
with.
call him Kara.
Yeah. But I'm trying to get both under my lips. With Karadig, and so Tallulah, what you're hearing is basically what I'm saying out loud in my head. But you are clearly hearing it.
I will look at Furloughs. Surface level I can get. Do you want me to try deeper? That's where it requires a little resistance on your part.
I think it's gonna work.
Can I try?
thi-
I won't read anything. Just as soon as I get in or don't get in, I'll let you know and I'll stop it.
Well, listen. If you don't try to read something, if you think it's worth trying to go deeper just to see if it works, and you don't try to read something, how will we know if it works? What I think is that, yes, it works. It works like all the other spells. I just can't do anything in response.
Well, it's not working and blocking if Tallulah's able to read your thoughts.
Well,
But
I think-
here's
or is
the
it just
thing with the
outgoing?
spell. The spell is it doesn't really do much until you push with it.
But it still is magic usage.
What's up, Pessequa?
No, I was just gonna say that I think the question has been answered because what Perlo said was that she found it more difficult to resist the effects of spells. Like when Tallulah cast Vicious Mockery, I assume there was a little bit more mental effort on your part, Fairlos, to resist it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't made to protect me.
Yeah, it's just
It
meant
was
to
just
suppress.
to prevent you from. Okay.
All right.
Well, and the only reason I'm asking about the potential of it then of someone being blocked from scrying magic is just because of how it's suppressing. And so and Fairless is going to try to look real like neutral and say, so no, I don't think you need to probe deeper.
All right.
But if someone, and she'll look back at Karadig, if you want to try to scry, that is the only other question I have before I take this off and go sit in a corner and have a discussion with my armor.
As long as I have the spell up, I do just want to sweep for any other minds beyond those that I know are here.
No, this is just the people that you know.
Okay,
Here.
I dropped the spell.
They didn't give me. I don't have the ability to cast the scrying spell because I don't have the material components for it. They didn't give me that because I think they deliberately.
You
didn't
give
want
us
me
a
to,
shopping
so.
list, just that's worth us having. We
I
might be able
don't.
to procure.
I don't. It's 1,000 gold crystal ball.
This is a school of magic.
I turned to
Okay,
Marlowe.
But I can cast locate creature, which I think would probably function similarly enough that would do the thing.
I think that makes sense. And
Okay.
Fairlos knows this spell, so I think she would agree.
Yeah. Okay. So, and he casts locate creature, and yeah, it's pointing directly at you.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Well, now we know.
We certainly can make a requisition for a used or a learner's crystal ball and see if we can get you that component to work with. We can't guarantee it's going to be in perfect shape. It might not be completely shiny. It might have a small crack or something, but we should be able to get you a component that's functional, hopefully.
Headmaster,
And
is there something we could get?
Marlowe. Just if you give us a list of any material components you need, we can see what we can try and get for you from the school.
If you're going to be on our ship, you should be outfitted to be able to do your skills and protect yourself. And I'm taking off the amulet and I'm holding it out to Essequa if she wants to look at it. but I think I probably saw Esiko's reaction to what it does. So it's
Esiko's,
more
like
of a
got a stick or
No, yeah.
tweezers
Yeah, like
and like a
literally,
rag.
it's
Like,
like just a random like 10-foot pole that she found on the ship because she's afraid of even wrapping it around her rapier.
One of the 10-foot poles from the side of the ship that we're installing.
Exactly.
exactly.
You don't know how I got 10 feet away, but I am.
And just to be clear, I just wanted you to have access to look at it. If you are not comfortable, hold on to it. I will. But
Yeah, I've seen what it does. You're not like super descriptive in your descriptions, but what you said it did is enough for me to know that I never want to touch it.
I will say,
I'm if you all are worried about carrying that around, I use the least magic out of everybody here, so
I actually.
I'm not
Would
worried
it
about
be
anyone.
safe to put it in a bag of holding?
I don't know.
I mean, it
Maybe.
doesn't create an extra dimensional space, does it? And you have to put it on, so putting it in.
I don't. It's very old technology. Dug up from the
Oh,
mountain homes.
it's
I don't know
technical.
what it is. Well, it's both. It's a little. It's weird. I don't know.
Okay,
It's
get
gonna-
it here.
Yeah, I'll hand it over to Esqua. She was about to put it back in her bag and then be like, here you go.
You said technology. She stuffs it into her bag.
To go back to what Riv was talking about, yes, if you're going to be on this ship and you have any requirements for being fully capable, let us know. We are at a school specifically for magic. We should have access to things. And then I'll also join everybody in looking at Marlowe and say,
I mean,
and-
we have a number of crystal balls, not for like I included in your tuition are relatively inexpensive or low cost ingredients. 1,000 gold.
considering what we're trying to do, I think is a fairly good
Yeah,
price.
didn't we ask about something really high cost before and we're told
A
that it would be
diamond.
supplied? Yeah.
It
Oh,
was
yeah, but that's
one diamond.
necessary. You get one
One.
diamond.
We got the first one.
We're only asking for one crystal ball.
Yeah. Well, that diamond was what, 300? I think it was
Mhm.
300 gold for the Revivify.
For Revivify, yeah.
I would also wager, not necessarily wager, but I think this is something that we could probably supply ourselves through our various adventures. We've got some stuff to sell if we decide that we don't want what we found so far. And
That's sort of what we expect that's why we give you the starter stuff.
Yeah, like I mean, I totally get where everybody's coming from. I don't necessarily always like to be the devil's advocate about things, but I get how 1,000 gold might be a little bit like a bit much, considering that the use of the specific use of this 300 gold diamond is to keep somebody alive. So that's necessary. That's essential. Like I don't necessarily know that I would, I'm not a divining wizard. I wouldn't go for scrying. Like that's definitely something that like if you're gonna do so, ignore me. I'm basically just saying that we can come up with the cost of this ourselves, and we don't need to keep bugging Marlowe about
You
it.
don't have to spend money on me, by the way. I'm fine.
I pull out a kraken quill from the bag of holding. Professor, I'm sorry, headmaster.
Also, that thing is like this big, to be
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah. How
Like
much?
you literally like
Yes.
You
It's a bag of
Guybrush
holding.
put it out of your bag.
What? And it's like sitting on the deck, and she's kind of holding it
Mary
like a harpoon,
Poppins
basically.
Lamp.
Mm-hmm.
Say, how much do these tend to go for?
I couldn't. I'm not. That's not my. You have to speak to someone who can better evaluate that sort of thing.
Okay.
That's not me.
Because the thing I was thinking is we could probably sell one of these. I know kraken parts go fairly high value, but other than that, I was figuring we talked about joining the ships. We could just use this for joining the ships since I go in the water quite a bit. I have it in the bag.
Aren't those poison?
yeah.
They are.
Hey Marlo, I have a question.
Yep.
What are you still doing here?
I need to get Tallulah to sign some paperwork, and also, and he produces I don't know, I held it like that. He produces a letter from his pocket, and give her this.
Okay.
That was the original reason we were coming. We got slightly distracted by a boarding party.
Right.
My apologies.
It happens.
Yeah, he will hand it to you if you want.
Okay.
If you reach your hand out like that.
Yeah.
And let me add that to your journal.
Documents.
Documents. Go, go, go.
I love documents.
All right.
What are we?
Oh.
Ooh.
Let's see. Let me do this, and here we go, audience. You can now read it on the screen. I do not read this out loud, but I'll read it for the benefit.
You spotted a typo, but I think it-
So the typo is not a
No.
puzzly.
no, there's no puzzly bits to this. You don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
It got small again.
I did. Yeah, I saw that. I'm resizing it now.
Do you want to just read it out loud for the sake of
Yes, that
anyone who
is-
might
that
be
is what I was
listening
pl-
rather than viewing?
Well, I'm gonna do both. It's on the. I have to shrink it again. It won't fit all the way. You don't owe me anything, despite what. Actually, let's read it in Dominique's. You don't owe me anything, despite what my daughter and accountant might say, but I'm out of options. If you read my last couple letters, you probably noticed that I was caught unawares by the deep, abiding need to rebel against the crown. We've retreated to the Isle d'Ombres, but we are short on food for a sustained siege, which we are now under. Her eyes narrow when she reads that. There are plenty of people I trust who could get us supplies in the short term, but I think for this purpose I might want to go to someone I don't trust at all. If you can smuggle us food or casters capable of sustaining
That's typo
our
again.
fortress town, I'll pay you 2,000 gold on top of what I've already paid for your schooling. Think about it, but you're not the only person I'm engaging for this, so be careful. Duke Etienne Jamon.
Etienne is such a gorgeous French
Love
name.
that name.
I
Love
love
that
that
name.
name.
Love that name.
Well,
I
It's
will-
Steven.
Yeah, it's the French version of Steven.
yeah.
So there's
For-
Steven.
Even Steven. That's our Steven.
That's our Stephen. Real quick. So Tallulah's taken a moment to read this letter. I know
I got
Essequel was.
Etienne.
Yeah, Essequel was casting detect magic to look for narrative magic.
Oh
I'm
yeah, I
ass-
was doing that.
Yeah.
I figured now is the time to ask, just before Tallulah decides what to do with her stuff. Narrative magic?
Yeah, I probably
On-
would have been done like so. It's just detect magic.
Kara.
So it's in on Kara, so in a 30-foot radius of me, which I would be within 30 feet of him.
Sure.
And yeah, I would be able to see a faint aura and learn its school of magic around any visible creature or object in the area that bears magic, and you learn its school of magic, if any. Actually, since I was doing this, I will I will not have
Yeah.
to put the amulet back in my bag for a second to.
Well, I was gonna
Dang
say,
it,
even if it
School
was
of
in your
Magic.
bag, even if
Yeah.
it was in your bag, there would be a deep dark hole.
Oh,
where the amulet
fun.
should be.
all right, love that. Love a void. Okay, but yeah,
Fun.
am I pinging anything else off of Caradig specifically?
Karadig is wearing, so underneath his clothes, he is wearing a chain shirt,
Okay.
and the part of it that you can see is in fact glowing with the blue narrative magic that you've seen before.
What
Oh,
was that book's name? Yeah.
the light that never shines.
I'm just. Yeah, Fairless is waiting now to find out if that is written on his chain shirt when this is. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the list of things that Essequa has to reveal to everybody just keeps getting longer and longer and longer.
Well, now we just
Alright.
need to get Marlowe off the ship.
Cool. So yeah, no, she's got detect magic O vision for the next, I'll just say 5 minutes at this point because it lasts for how long does it last?
It's a while.
Concentration
alright.
up to 10 minutes.
Oh, 10.
Yeah. Do you say anything immediately when the narrative magic pings, or do you?
You like, I guess there's two different reactions there. She looks at Caradig and goes, huh. And then she is like it takes her a minute to sense. So it's almost like she's like in a kind of meditative state, getting the magical lay of the land, so to speak. So when she settles on Caradig and that type of magic pings, you hear her go, huh. And then she opens her bag and looks in it where the amulet is, and then she goes, huh. And then she closes her bag, puts it down, and is like, alrighty. Doesn't say anything else.
Assuming that Essica will tell us when the time is right, I'll look over at Marlo and say, was there anything else that you needed before you
Yes,
take
so-
off?
Tallulah has to sign these papers with, I guess that's the name, Tallulah?
That would be my name.
So that you're registered at the school again? Because I'm guessing that you
I'll
have
sign,
some
it's
stuff
fine.
going on.
It's fine.
According to the guy that messaged me about your
Yep.
continuing
Yeah,
presence at the
people
school.
can change their names
Yep.
whenever they would like to.
That's perfectly fine. I just want to make sure that we have it in the paperwork properly so that well, we have certain magical things that very much depend on proper names and proper designations for people.
Probably the teleporting stuff.
Yeah,
Uh,
that doesn't work without.
Yeah. I
Unless
will
you
hold
are
up
on
my
the invitation
hand,
list.
double check the paperwork just to make sure it's what I saw when I signed previously. As long
Yeah,
as
it's
there's
the
no
it's a-
funny business, I'll sign it.
It's exactly the same as it was before.
Okay. Then I sign it.
Essiqua, whilst this is happening, a puff of narrative magic is surrounding Tallulah. Doesn't look
Oh,
like it's
that
coming
makes
from the
sense.
contract. It's just as she's signing and doing this thing.
Headmaster,
That makes
here you are.
sense. As you rewrite yourself into the fabric of reality.
This face is on
Ooh.
Essiqua as she's watching this happen.
Lauren wonders if narrative magic only appeared like this because it's Tallulah, or would it apply to anyone on this plane of existence? But
I think it would
Fairless is
probably
doing.
be any of the people who are touched by
Yeah.
narrative magic.
Yeah,
I think it
if-
would have to
Probably.
be one of
If your
us.
story changes pretty like narratively significantly, this is probably what would
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
But all Fairless is doing is looking at Essiqua very clearly, like, I know you're thinking of something, but I'll just wait till you're comfortable saying something. But there's something going on.
I feel like we're gonna find. I mean, I'm looking at my Chicago Manual of Style, and like that feels like that's gonna be the rules of narrative magic, or like Strunk and White. Like
Right.
Yeah.
Oh God, M dash is everywhere.
M.
Hey,
You
I
know
love
what?
an
Don't
M-dash.
come for my M.
I love an M dash.
I'm not saying they're bad. I'm not saying they're bad.
Let's go back now because Esco was doing the detect magic.
Yeah, it's just
And you guys were coming around to the idea that there is narrative magic coming off of his chainmail.
Yeah. So
Well, she hasn't said anything.
Yeah, I
just yet.
haven't said anything.
Yeah.
I'm just like it's another. Huh.
And I will say, Essiqua, to answer a question that was a little bit out of character for everybody, but it did make me want to give you the information. You believe you spot the upturn of a letter on the center of the chest, right where you can kind of see where his.
You want me to roll for it? I'll roll for it. I haven't rolled for a ding dang thing this game yet.
You'd like to make an investigation check. You could maybe discover what the letter is.
I like a letter. Okay.
While she's rolling, I'm just going to ask a clarifying question. Does she notice it because perceptive, or notice it because narrative magic is around the letter?
She's noticing it because it's narrative magic around the letter, and also because she has detect magic up right now.
Okay.
I just rolled a 7.
It was
so
definitely not visible before.
It's just a 7.
All right. You do not, can't quite, you know what? I mean, it's a line. It looks like it's probably part of a letter. But what letter that could be, you don't know.
Right.
Cool. I will hand the headmaster the paperwork. Thank you very much, headmaster. Appreciate it.
Well, I'm gonna go, and I don't know what you guys are gonna do next, but I will be making sure that your teachers know if you don't come back today, that your classes that you can't take a bad grade in any classes you miss while you're gone doing whatever the fuck it is you guys are doing.
I actually
is
need to talk to
appreciated.
everybody
Thanks,
about doing
headmaster.
an
Yeah, work
errand.
term. Oh,
What?
And she waves the letter. Got an
Oh.
errand that needs to be done, if everyone is willing.
I'll look back at Marlo and say, we appreciate that. We'll probably still be around for a little bit as there's still supplies we need to pick up, but then yes, we will be departing shortly to
Shan?
help usher him off the ship because I think even Fairlos is there's all of my crew need to tell everyone else something and no one wants to talk, so I gotta get people off the ship.
So we're gonna go two things. First of all, he leaves the ship. As he leaves the ship, Karadig is going to, give a wave and say, "Bye, strange imp man person."
oh, that was our
Um,
headmaster. That was.
Oh, I know.
Professor.
I actually
Oh.
do. I do know him actually pretty well, but I thought
Oh.
he would find that particularly entertaining.
Fair enough.
And then he turns back around, and Essequa,
Eh.
the lettering that was first underneath is now glowing through his above clothing,
Mm-hmm.
and it says, "The light that never shines in a dark world dies. Trying, tragic, teacher." And then we're going to go on break.
Oh!
So
Oh!
sad.
When you get a chance after on the break, would you put that into
I'm
the Zoom
I'm
chat?
copy and pasting it right
Perfect.
now.
Because I got
Nice.
the last line, but not the middle one. Meanwhile,
All right, 20-minute break.
20-minute break, I think.
20-minute
call.
break. Everybody
Ac-
get a snacky and hydrate.
See everybody at 10 till, we'll call it.
Snonky says hydrate.
it says hydrate.
Thank you,
Okay.
Snonky.
Oh, the button
Oh,
doesn't
right,
work. I gotta redo all
right.
my buttons, apparently. Where is it? Boop.
The light that never shines in a dark world dies. Trying, tragic, teacher. Ahoy hoy, and welcome back.
I like that.
Got a
Hold on.
job description.
Hold on. That
like
was
a-
great.
It was awesome.
Do that more.
Yeah. Do that all the time. Do it right now.
Just make up a new poem on the spot and then
Yes.
say it when the break's over. Okay, yeah, I'll see what I can do.
Sounds like a help wanted ad in a.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it
Or
does.
one of those
Trying.
missed
Contraction.
Connections.
Yep. You were a tragic teacher trying. Me, my light. I couldn't get my light to shine.
Help.
But as you guys so here's something interesting. As Marlo is flying away and you guys are on the top deck of the ship, you start to spot the amaranthian blooms. Now, something about this world is that the Amaranth Sea is called that, but we've never talked about why. Around this time of year, near the shores, purple algae starts to bloom up. And currently, there is a little bit of a purple glow, and yes, there is a glow involved, coming up from the ocean around you.
Is it like luminescent algae?
Bioluminescent.
And this is normal, to be
Okay.
clear.
How
but it
does
is
that
happening
affect
currently.
water breathing?
It's like the purple bioluminescent red tide
Yeah.
kind of situation.
As long as it's not particularly thick, which right now it's not, the
Okay.
water breathing should be fine. But
Cool.
I will say, for people who breathe through natural means, it can get kind of toxic.
Okay. Thank you.
Interesting.
It's just on the shore.
So,
It doesn't affect the whole ocean. It's just
No,
along the
it's
coastline.
I mean, it's a decent. As it gets worse and worse, it gets further and further, but it never gets into like deep ocean. It's not.
But it's
gonna-
enough that people can still live in the deep ocean. And
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
We have
Deep
our
ocean's-
cities and towns and things.
Yep, those are fine.
So it's like sea foam. like seafoam algae
Yeah.
sort of type
Yeah,
thing.
it's totally like a red tide.
Yeah, yeah.
It is absolutely exactly like that, yes. And it's mostly born from me realizing that most of the ocean maps I have don't have purple versions. So I had to come up with a justification for the Amaranth Sea's name. And now
Nice.
here we are.
Yay!
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 Once Marlowe is out of earshot, what were you doing with all those rituals there, Esqua?
Oh, just checking for magic.
Oh, all right. I got the letter. I got.
Yeah.
I need to ask all of you for a favor. So, you know that Lord Jamon has fled Brescia after his daughter was arrested for treason. He took a bunch of folk with him, and they've all taken up on a particular isle, but they're under siege. And they don't have the supplies to last out the siege, specifically food. He's asked if I would be, not if I would be willing. He's basically tasked me with trying to get them supplies, and I'll be absolutely frank, I have no problem with trying to get these people supplies. They're victims of a regime. I also sort of owe the Jameau family. But if you're all not willing to do it, then I can try to hire someone who is.
I'm all for helping those who are under siege, especially in this circumstance. Do you think this is a trap?
I don't. The Jameau family has always been a bit independent. They've typically been on the right side of things. That's why I actually fell in with Dominique. She wanted to learn how the average person lived. And so I showed her. The Jameau family are good people. One of the few noble houses that I actually respect. As far as it being a trap, I don't. Unless.
You're an expert forger, Tallulah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to make a check with your forgery kit real quick and see if this
Oh.
handwriting matches the previous letters you've gotten?
Actually, yes, that is a great idea.
Very cool.
Did not realize I could do that with my forgery skill. Awesome.
I think that's a reasonable use.
I love it. No, I think that's great. So forgery is what? Just a straight D20 plus my
your-
proficiency, right?
It's your proficiency. There's a stat associated with it. Let's call it
Charisma.
Charisma. Let's call it charisma for this moment.
Yes.
While Tallulah is doing this, Essica is gonna say, I'm all for helping people, but I would just like to sleep in my bed for one night before we go back out on the sea.
Understood. There's still a few things we need to do before we can depart.
Oh heck yeah! I just wanted to make that very known. I know we haven't been on the ship for long enough.
Particularly if we need to be bringing supplies.
That natural one on
Yep.
your
Oh
check there.
no!
It's 5 plus your proficiency, which I think is 3.
Plus 3, yeah.
Okay.
No, 6. 6
Oh
plus
wait, no,
3.
we made the rule where 1s and 20s are successes and failures even
Yeah,
outside of
yeah.
the normal rules. So it's I mean, it's hard to tell. You know what? It's a distracting thing. There's lots of stuff going on around you right now.
I was asking about the potential of it being a trap, both for you personally, and then also how much does the Jamal family know about? And then she's just gonna like sigh a little bit and say, the books we're after.
I can see. Kara, I'm gonna let you in on a little little fact about me. I'm not necessarily who I say I am. And
Okay. I
there,
don't really know who you are, so
right. There are some folk who have there are some folk that might be looking for me. And so
there's some
this
folk looking for me too. So
right. Maybe that's why we're getting along so well. Um That's why I asked about Brescia and the dwarves, because these people are heavily tied in Brescian politics, and the only reason I can think of where it might be a trap, if it is from Gemot, is if they've made a deal to return. If what I did has been figured out.
does that seem likely? I thought the Jamots and
It doesn't.
the Lemaire don't really get along like
They
at all.
don't. They don't. But if I don't know if he would take an offer to return to the city. I wronged his daughter quite a bit, and I don't know if he would sell me out for that. I don't think he would. Jamal are a family I trust, like I said.
For what it's worth, I felt it was important to put it out there, and I still think there is a possibility. But that being said, laying a trap for you or for us in this way does not seem like the best, because
Wait.
it's asking you to do something that's already going to be very dangerous.
I have a thought. We have a diviner. I'm willing to let him peer into it, if no one else objects.
Yeah, we did just confirm he does not have the ability to scry, so I don't know how else he would do this.
Well, what can diviners do on a matter like this? Kara.
I have some natural abilities, although so listen, I don't want you to think that I'm like, trying to investigate you or anything, but what you said doesn't like fully track and completely come together. Like, why would they be after you specifically? What are you doing? And then I noticed that ring, and I was, you know, I did you
It's
spot
fine.
the signet ring of the royal family?
It is.
That's so cool.
I know,
Um,
right? So, there's a possibility that, as Furlough said, this could be a trap. So, is there anything you can do to look into it and figure out if there's something more going on than we know?
I mean, well, I mean, is that letter that letter is from
Etienne Gemot.
okay,
And I
okay.
hand it towards him.
I will be clear, Tallulah. If so, your failure was to in the moment do the thing. You can
Yeah.
always take 10 if you take the time with your
Oh.
forgery kit. Eventually, give it 10 minutes studying both sets. It would be really stupid if you couldn't do that.
Oh,
actually.
okay. Well, in that case, actually,
He's gonna like reach forward for it,
I
and
pull
you're
it
going
back.
to.
Let me try a mundane method first to double check that this is in fact from Lord Gemot.
Okay.
And if I can't figure it out, then we'll move forward. Captain, if you want to read the letter over my shoulder, you can. In fact, anybody who wants to can. I think it's, honesty is the best policy, isn't it?
I would
So
agree.
speaking of honesty, I know why that captain was really upset with us.
Oh,
Why's that?
This is technically his ship.
He
Well,
was a pirate?
you can be examining whilst you're having this discussion.
yeah.
He was a pirate?
Well, yes and no. I don't necessarily know that he was a pirate, but the guy whose ship this was his father. He looked really familiar to me when we were downstairs. I think that was me. That was me, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, he looked really familiar to me downstairs, and I'm like, well, we left the guy whose face I thought he had on an island. We left him there. But yeah, no. When I went to speak with the ship downstairs, when I took the time to do that, he was very the ship was very forthcoming about that information.
You can speak with ships?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I need to have a we need to talk.
Is this a good talk or a bad talk?
Are you actually a ship?
Are you?
Are we all
That wasn't a
not
no.
our own ships sailing the sea?
I don't think so. I don't want to interrupt this, but you and I need to have a conversation later.
Yeah, you said that. Is it a good talk or a bad talk? It helps me. It helps me know whether or not to be excited or terrified.
Okay, so I have a spell I've been working on that doesn't work. It's called Cloak Ship. Because
Good talk.
what I did was I took the invisibility spell
Mhm.
and I just was messing with it, but
Mhm.
it has to target a creature. And a ship isn't a creature.
Except for
But-
the 10 minutes that she's talking with it.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, that's a good talk. I'm happy to have that talk.
Later.
Absolutely later. But yeah, so he was raised on this ship. So which would explain why he would be intimately familiar with the ship and why he was most likely trying to verify that this was his ship so that he could probably reclaim it.
Well, I have sympathy for the loss of his father, but we took this off of a bunch of pirates who were doing pirate things.
Mhm.
And so I do not think he can lay a claim to this ship without claiming he was a pirate at one point. And I don't know much about the way that the dwarven hierarchy works, but I don't feel like that would stand in any court.
I'm
so
just gonna point out that he may not be upset about the ship so much as the fact we're in possession of the ship and his son is dead.
His father
His
is
father.
Or his father's dead.
which
I don't
once
think it's the
again-
ship.
And once again, understandable, but if he must have known his father was a pirate.
Well, I mean, maybe not, because you know it.
He
Parents
grew
try
up
to,
on the ship. But
Yeah, but-
wasn't the ship still? I mean, are we sure? Well, I guess if
When-
the ship is the one telling us that he grew up on it, then
So,
it wasn't that the ship
Essequa,
was
when
stolen.
this is just to jog your memory of the things that you were
Thanks.
told last time around. When they delved into your mind and
Mhm.
presumably discovered how you actually got the ship because you lied, and then they dug into your mind to find out what was going on. They called it legitimate salvage.
Oh yeah, that's right, they did.
So he'd still be pissed, but
Oh yeah, did I fail that save or did I succeed?
You failed that save.
Oh, okay. I honestly didn't know.
I remember
you
you
failed
failing.
the save, and he dug. Yeah,
Is that one of the spells in where you know they were digging around in your head when it
you
happened?
Yeah,
did,
yeah.
and you knew it was because
Okay.
even I said you felt it was like fingers digging into your brain.
Mm-hmm.
And then afterwards, you noticed it was the gold armored dwarf.
Right. I just didn't know because, like, regardless of whether you succeed or fail, you know somebody was digging. So I just didn't have that confirmation, and I didn't
Yep.
ask.
Ah,
failed.
okay.
Got it. Okay. So okay. Well, I mean, he knows how we got it. His friend in the gold armor did the Tallulah thing, the detect thoughts thing. But they said it was legitimate, so that doesn't mean that he wouldn't be upset about it. So
Oh, he's absolutely upset. The whole time that they were docked next to us, he was trying to kill me with a stare and doing a very bad job of it.
cool. But yeah, that was we've been having discussion after discussion, and I didn't want that particular piece of information to be lost in the labyrinth that is my mind. So
It's appreciated. That's good to know, even if there's not much we can do about it at the moment. But It's good to know there's more personal reasons why he might be coming after us.
Kara, can you tell us anything about that captain we should be aware of?
He's mean.
We got that much. No offense. We got that much.
I didn't get a lot of time around the actual captain, and I didn't get a lot of time around the first mate. To be honest with you, I was under several layers of bureaucracy.
Paperwork.
Right?
Although in this case, it sounds like
Less-
that was probably for the best for your sanity.
Well, what about Arona? She's a magic user. You're a magic user. Did y'all ever
No,
talk about
that's
magic?
specifically we weren't allowed to ever associate with other magic users on the ship.
Huh.
At least
I
those
know.
of us in the lower. I think she might have had the opportunity, but her and I never interacted. She seemed like she was of a higher rank than, because I was just a crewman. So
Well, you and I are going to have a lot of magic talks.
that sounds like fun.
Hmm.
So, Lola, you've been staring at that for 10 minutes. You got anything?
I think it's fair to go ahead and say that you're done with your examination. And the answer is this was definitely written by the Duke.
It's a real letter. It's his
Which
hand.
doesn't tell you necessarily if he wasn't.
I don't know if
coerced or
he is actually
poisoned, but-
planning a trap, but I can tell you the letter came from him. These are good people. These are people who are going to be suffering. And he is going to try to reach out to other parties. He didn't indicate who, but
Well, that's good because we can try to help as much as we want, but there's only so many supplies that the ship can bring because at some point it's just hardtack. We're gonna run out of room.
and I pull out the bag of holding. Got
Even with
plenty of
that-
space in here too.
Agreed. We can bring a lot, but a protracted siege like that, you need a steady supply.
The
So
other
reaching
option
out
is
to-
perhaps we could break the siege.
I've been by the Isle des Ombres, as they call it. One, sorry, Furloughs. It's a smuggler's haven to start with. But
You have to be sorry to me. It's not my haven.
I kind of
Well, I
glance
know,
at
but-
oh god, what is his name?
Fro.
Fro, thank you. I kind of glance at Fro and grin and toss him a wink.
I just mean because I've been up to some mischief I haven't told you about, but that's neither here nor there. The point is that it's a town of several thousand people. So they're probably needing multiple shiploads of goods. You probably are just one component of many.
I have an idea. There's
Yeah.
someone we could coordinate with.
Ooh.
You're not gonna like it. And I glance at Furlos.
I haven't liked anything that happened today, so we might as well continue.
She's a pirate. But she
Oh.
is strongly anti-Brescia.
Oh.
Uh,
And then there's another that we could talk to who's going to owe a favor.
Oh.
And
May
I
That's what I
just
thought you were talking about first.
point out that specifically the Duke is saying that he's already engaging other people on this task. So
I
I
can-
think bringing what we can bring is
Acceptable.
I can also
Little
hit
do
him.
they
Otherwise-
know.
what?
Little do they know that currently Christine Saxton is in the presence of the Duke.
Here's the thing, I can shoot him ascending. I can find out who else he's contacted and perhaps coordinate with them.
You were talking about coordinating with Captain Saxton, right?
I was.
Yeah, she's already there.
How do you know that?
A little friend told me. My little friend told me.
All right. Well, that's good then. That means he's opened a door that I was planning to try to open anyways. Well
Okay,
then,
those-
this may be a sideline on that, but the other friend you were mentioning, the one who will owe us a favor, didn't we send them?
We have to do something for them.
Yes, but one thing at a time. We sent them while we're going to figure out what we were going to do for them up here because we thought that captain was up here. Do we think they are now down in Bridge at this isle?
Isle des Ombres.
It's a surface island.
I don't
is the
think they
traditional home
probably
of-
are. It could be, but I doubt that they had time to find Captain Saxton yet.
Well, now we know what Captain Saxton is. Maybe we can do a lot of things without actually having to get directly involved. They're looking for a favor. They're looking for us to help with a favor. We're going to get a free favor. Maybe the favor we use is getting really easy deliveries, getting a bumper crop on the island, something in where we are materially helping but don't actually have to physically be there.
Well, I do also just want to make clear that the letter that Palula has received implies that we're not the only people who've been asked, which I don't think we have done this a lot lately, and I don't think we should try to take this entire thing on by ourselves.
Correct.
Why don't
Yes.
I send?
We were not asked to bring along additional people.
Why
We were
don't
just
I
asked
send?
to do our part?
Why don't I send him a sending?
To find out what?
Find out who's going.
Do you really think he would tell you?
I do.
He says you're not the only person I'm engaging for this. Don't you think that if he was going to tell you who else he was engaging, he would have told you who he was engaging?
I don't think he'd want to put it in writing in case it was recovered.
Well, let me offer. If we ask our friend who we're going to use a favor for to be the delivery method, I do believe that ship is probably much better prepared and probably way more excited about going through a blockade and messing up a bunch of bad people to help a bunch of good people.
That's fair.
So we might not need to know anything else about who else is coming. We might just need to use our favors wisely and then let the Duke know we're sending a reinforcement.
Why don't I use my favor to Oberon to ask for him to open a portal that can be passed through by the people who are living there in order to go get supplies?
That's a possibility too.
And I look over at Kara and smile.
That was me, the DM, smiling and crossing his arms, just to be clear to that suggestion. No, that could be interesting. Although, I mean, are we planning on what are your long-term? You don't want to tell me, I know, but like in general terms, like what are your long-term plans?
Graduation.
All right, well, then I guess that would simplify things considerably.
Yeah. I just want to make sure that we're not taking on stuff for the sake of taking on stuff.
I owe this family.
Leave Brescia to deal with their own stuff.
I am.
You owe this
Brescia.
family to do the things that they've asked you to do.
And this is what he's asked me to do.
And I think you offering to use that favor to do what he's asked you to do while still keeping us physically directly out of harm's way, I think is a wonderful balance point. Now, whether you want to ask about opening portals or letting our friend have their fun, I think is something we can figure out later. But
can I make a point? Where would you be opening the other end of the portal at?
I was going to ask him where he could have a safe haven that he could acquire goods through. I was going to leave it to him to pick the location.
I would not do that, but
He has more resources than I do. He has more
Let's-
allies than I do. He
it's
would
not
have
just
a better.
about that. He's a fun guy. He's a great fun guy. And if we're not specific,
Oh, you're
he's
talking
gonna
about
have some-
him. Oh, no, no, no. I was talking about
Oh,
asking Lord Jameau where
Asking the
he wanted the
Duke.
portal to go to.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm like, if you're asking Oberon about that, then he's gonna have a whole lot of fun
Oh,
with that, and it's
no.
gonna be more trouble than we're worth.
I'm
Yeah.
writing out a very specific set of qualifications on this arrangement before I make it. And I'm going to
Lauren-
ask everybody to look it over. Actually, everybody to contribute.
Lauren, just so that Fairlos is saying this in the right order. So what we were asked of by the one who does not have a name, whose name I can't remember what we were calling them, was for us to use one of our favors to have Oberon come.
Yes.
And
dissolve their marriage.
Yes.
that we could
It was actually just for him to show up.
Yeah, so basically to call him in because we're going to use one of our favors. We don't
Yes.
actually have to use the favor, but the intent should be there to use the favor or else he could see the trickery coming. He arrives, other person is there. We go, "Please do this favor, also wife."
Yes.
So the order so yeah, Fairless will say this out. So Tallulah, once we figure out the specifics, Tallulah, you can ask your favor, bring him on in. Before that happens, we'll call the other captain and let them know and pick a time and place. And then we can make all of that happen all at once and help a lot of people and not have to go through a blockade. And who knows? Maybe that other captain will decide to have some fun down with some blockaded boats. Does that sound like a decent plan?
I'm good with that.
And then she'll owe us a favor, and we can do whatever we want with that, and the rest of us, that is all later. And then Fairless is going to look at Karadig. I'm going to get this name.
You did it.
Yes.
I'm proud of you.
Yay! And Lauren's, we know he saw one of those big books with that title on it, right?
He saw
She's-
his book.
Well,
Yeah.
he heard about it from his brother.
Yeah.
Right.
But he is aware of big, large books.
Yes.
Fairless is going to look at him and say, as far as long-term goals, that book that you saw, the big one, we're looking for those.
Oh.
That one and others. Just so you have an idea of what we're after.
Well, who's got him?
Well, they're spread out a little bit. Some might be with the Bresians, some might be with the dwarves. We're still looking, which is
Oh.
one of the reasons the idea of finding a diviner on our side was very appealing.
Huh. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah. Okay.
We can talk about more specifics a little bit later so that you can try to look for those. But since you asked about longer term goals, I think today is supplies and find out any other information we need to get. Tomorrow is pick a spot where we're going to do this exchange and take the time to come up with whatever contract Tallulah wants to come up with. We take care of that, and then we go from there.
I'd like all four of you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh,
Love it.
No. I don't wanna, because my dice were mean to me once already.
That's a 16.
12.
19 for me.
I'm very distracted. I got a 12.
Essequa, you're the 1st person who can react to this.
Okay.
You see a sparkle of magic and a voice that you recognize as Marlowe's saying, "You know what? Fuck it. and a crystal ball flies through the air through some sort of a portal over all of your heads. And if you'd like, because you rolled the 19, you can reach up and catch it.
I would like to.
Okay.
Nice. Before the portal closes, I yell, "Thanks!"
Yeah, I go, whoa! And then before the portal closes, also, I go, breakable?
Also, a heads up would be good. Some of us react to things by breaking them.
See, this is why you're the, and he, a finger points through the portal that hasn't quite closed yet and just says, this is why you're the captain of the Aurora Ball team.
I have broken.
We stand our imp headmaster.
I'm just gonna say this. I have broken more balls than anybody else.
Oh,
I
I
was
don't
gonna
know
stop.
about
Was he
that.
talking to me or was he
Okay,
talking to
Captain
me?
Ballbreaker.
No, that's
Captain Ballbreaker.
We
Okay.
established that. We established that
Okay.
a while back.
My bad.
No, you know what? I like that answer. I still like you saying that because I feel like you tried and it's not for you.
I will retcon exactly what she said to be. It makes sense. I just kept breaking balls.
I think Rivulet may have just given you your epic story name there, Furlos.
No.
Oh yes.
No.
I would like
I'm
this.
going to write the Ballad of Captain Ballbreaker.
Hold on. If Fairless doesn't like the name, we respect
Listen.
that. But also, it's kind of awesome.
If that's
And
what
also, if we're being fair, nicknames are given, not generally earned, not generally made up by the person that's given the nickname.
To be
look at my
fair,
brother.
she
Look
didn't
right at
make
my
it
brother,
up. She
and
did.
And well, then you can't use it. And look
No,
at
I
my
point at
brother
Rivulet.
and say, "I will write my own story. Thank you very much."
Ruin it for the bard. That's fine.
Listen, if I don't give you something to rail against, then what are you even here for?
Hopefully. Well, no. Probably shouldn't say that.
You want me to use that?
Yes.
Esco has literally been like doing Aurora Ball tricks with it this whole
Just like doing friction juggling.
No, actually, yeah, no, she's been contact like full David Bowie labyrinth. She's been
Yes.
with it.
Yes.
That's what I was hoping you'd say.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I saw the behind the scenes
I
of that.
really
They gotta
kind of want Esequa's art now to like.
Have a
You
crystal.
know what? Yeah, totally.
You saw the
Yeah, the behind the scenes of it, they had
where they had a guy actually reach his arm around and do it for him.
do it
so-
sight unseen.
Nice.
And the funny part
I
is that guy
knew-
gets so frustrated about it, and David Bowie is just constantly like, "It's fine. Let's do it again. It's fine. We're good."
I knew a bunch of people who were magicians and
Oh.
were contact jugglers, and it was unreal. It was
Yeah.
unreal to watch. Like
Yeah.
I have a not a glass one because I don't I am not yet good enough to work with glass, but I have some practice contact juggling balls because I had that whole flow
Yeah.
flow art phase that is it's not a phase, mom. But yeah.
No, you still have them.
can I-
It's a habit.
I could. What would you guys like me to look in on?
Is this a trap?
Oh, so you do know how to scry. You just don't have the thing for scrying.
Yeah, I just don't
that
have.
was
the
why
thing.
we needed the crystal
That-
ball.
I'd like
Well,
to know
I
if
was-
this is a trap.
I just interpreted it different. Like I really want to be very clear. She has not stopped contact juggling with it, and I'm pretty sure Karadig is reaching for it, and she's not getting the clue.
Oh, fair enough.
Essequa,
Mm.
we'll get you your own.
I am so sorry. Here, she like contact juggles it
Oh,
to
okay.
him.
No,
See-
it was enjoyable to watch. Don't be sorry.
Well, I mean, scrying. I can scry on a person. You want me to scry on the Duke fellow?
Will scrying on him right now actually help in any way?
Well, I mean, I could see what they're having a conversation about, and if it might give information as to whether or
That
not
is
they're.
fair. I did say Captain Saxton was with him right now. It would be good
I would
if
like
you.
to know.
Confirm that.
Okay. I
If
actually
it's-
okay, yeah.
If it's
I can do
safe to
that.
do so, then sure.
You know what the Duke looks like?
I do know what the Duke looks like. I've seen pictures.
That will help with the
His
DC.
portrait in miniature.
Aw.
To
And
get your
also-
Hamlet quote for the episode.
Do I have anything that used to be Dominique's
do.
that would tie to her family?
Yeah, you have plenty of stuff.
Okay.
Including,
Yeah.
for example, any of the letters you have.
Oh, yeah,
would-
shit, that's right. I got a bunch of them. I'll hand him the letter I just got and 2 more.
Okay. Um.
These might help.
So, I have a really really interesting thing I can do with this if you guys are interested. Um. So normally you can't do it like this, but I can.
Oh my gosh.
upcast-
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I realized what your talents are, and if you're about to say what I think you're gonna say, this is gonna be so freaking awesome.
Yes, it
Continue.
is. I know exactly where this is going.
I'm really curious. What do you think it's going to be, Essequa?
Latia thinks
Yeah.
and has translated that into Essequa, that he can show us what he
Yes.
Project.
Yep.
Yeah.
If I just expend one higher level spell slot, and upcast the scrying, I can include people in the room with me, and they can also see what I see.
I now have so many magic talks.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
very
Getting
quickly.
magic best friend necklaces.
Exactly. I'm gonna very quickly look over at my brother and say, "You mind keeping an eye on stuff while we're keeping an eye on a scry?"
That's what I'm here
Your
for.
eye on the sky.
Keep an eye, keep a scry.
I wanted to make sure we were not excluding you. I was asking you to do something important. That's all.
Oh, I appreciate it, but I'm mostly here to help out. Can I, before you do this, can I offer you a suggestion real quick?
You say that as though you as though if I said no, you would not. So yes. What?
I'm more than willing. I know you want me here because you think you can trust me more than you can trust other people, and I get that. But you're counting on me to be your first mate right now. I have another ship I technically co-own with Mr. Moriarty, and you have plenty of capable people here right now that could be your executive officer. I mean, Tallulah, if that's what she's calling herself now, is very good at convincing and talking to people. Have you ever thought about just having her be your first mate and letting me go back to my own life?
First off, I think I'm gonna need at least a long nap before I start trusting Tallulah again. But beyond that, if you want to go back to your ship, that's fine with me. I will miss you, but this is not your fight. I've appreciated your help, but if you think you can be more help somewhere else, I'm not going to keep you.
Well, also, I just realized, not to say that I was eavesdropping, but there's at least 2,000 gold to be made by delivering food to the island. So
That's assuming that everybody got the same deal. You might as well try it. He might.
His
and
reward.
This she'll come in real close on and say, he might be lowballing her because she owes him. You might be able to get a lot more.
I will give that a try if you're all right with me going to do that.
I think if you can stay for the next 10 minutes, just in case, and then
I will do that, absolutely.
And then let Tallulah know so that we can inform the Duke so that they know.
Now, I'm going to show up with a bunch of stuff. It's way more dramatic if I just show up with a bunch of food when they're in deep need, and then, yeah, I'm a hero.
That is true. That is true.
I was just driving by and thought I would swing by, and maybe someone here needed food.
Maybe just remember, when you cast create food and water, put it on the ground. If you put it in the air to drop on someone, it is not as effective.
That's fair. And
But it was funny.
yeah, but that, just because I'm doing it doesn't mean you can't do it too. I'm just saying. But I'm going to get going after this.
After this. And I'll come back to everybody. All right, what do we got to do to
he's
see
gonna
you
begin
scrying?
He's going to say nothing, and then immediately your eyes go to the scrying. This ball pops up in the center, and you can see above your ship very, very briefly before it like moves like a rocket through the air to the west. And this is actually, hold on, I need to set this scene up properly now from what you guys are going to be seeing. Move the party token up to here. All right. All right. And let's move everybody on.
Yay.
Wow.
And
Oh, Christine's pretty.
I would like you all to know that as I was frantically writing out notes on what is going on, I tried to write the Duke, and it came out duck, and so now he's a duck.
Duck Jamal.
Duck Jamal.
Sounds like a dish.
It does.
It does.
And I feel like it'd be delicious.
Maybe there's a family recipe.
so here on in this semi throne room looking thing, but there's no chair. Sitting on the steps is the Duke Etienne Chameau. Surrounding him are his daughters,
Yep.
Esme Chameau and Dominique Chameau.
We do have a striking resemblance.
Christine Saxton is sort of standing down at the bottom of the stairs. A tiefling that, again, Tallulah, you're going to recognize everybody here.
Yeah.
Corbin Fontaine of House Fontaine, which is one of the 3 major houses, actually.
We met him, right?
No.
No, we met another Fontaine.
Oh.
Well, yeah, you've met multiple Fontaines.
Wait,
was it-
Monsieur de la Fontaine, he's tiefling, isn't he?
No, the Fontaine, you know, in the tent about 20 to 30 meters from where...
Yeah.
Maybe not meters, feet, from where you guys are, is a human, as far as you know.
I never put
and
that
then
together. I'm pretty. Go on.
Yeah, that's been...
I'm
sitting
pretty
for a while for
smart.
somebody-
Okay, go on.
That's been sitting for a while for somebody to put together.
I'm sorry, I thought he was de la Fontaine. I thought it was a different.
They are both Fontaines, and it is not
Okay.
different, but that's fair. And then there is Christophe Lemaire of House Lemaire. That's the royal house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Tallulah, you especially know who this is, because it's the second child that you were previously engaged to work for to steal the signet ring.
If a
There is
Triton
one-
can pale, Tallulah pales.
You've never seen this guy before, but you've heard of him and
Yeah.
heard his description. And more importantly than that, he also bears... So, Dominique Jameau bears a striking resemblance to you. This guy looks like he could be your brother.
Interesting.
Hang on, just to clarify, because
Yep.
Tallulah looks different than she did as Dominique,
Yes.
right?
She does a little
So,
bit, but she doesn't look...
Who does she
like,
look like?
Bone
Christophe looks
structure.
like-
Shape-shifted.
Bone
She hasn't
structure's the
shape-shifted.
same. It's just her tattoo, her hair.
Okay.
She hasn't shape-shifted. She just disguised herself a little bit.
Right. So like her base face strongly resembles this individual.
Yes.
Okay.
And then there is a woman you do not necessarily recognize who is hanging, sitting with her feet hanging off of the sorry, the upraised portion. There's a word for that. That suddenly is
Dais.
Dais. Yes. And she's just kind of hanging there with her feet kind of kicking back and forth. And they are discussing the organization of a true rebellion against Brescia. Now, there's like 5 or 6 NPCs here. The idea that I'm going to hold a long conversation between all these NPCs is kind of silly. So I'm going to give you the summary.
Okay.
Christophe Lemaire is promising Duke Jameau independence if he supports his claim to the throne. The Fontaine guy is staying pretty quiet, but throwing in little comments here and there. It seems like he is not necessarily on board with whatever this is, but is interested in what this is. And then, of course, the sisters are discussing it. It appears that Christine Saxton has brought in a load of food and is working on smuggling more food in over time to ensure that the rebellion continues to be fully provided for lack of a better way to put it. And it does appear that as long as they have food, they can indefinitely last against the Brescian Navy.
Okay.
It's just a matter of being starved out or not.
Oh my god. Jesus.
Puppy farts.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I know
Oh.
that. I knew that. I knew that.
It's in my mouth. It's
Now,
not.
for the
but-
audience at home, let's describe the room that they're in. There is a large hourglass on the dais
Oh, is that what
behind
that
these
is?
people.
Okay.
And there's some sort of apparatus that looks like it could be flipped upside down.
That's cool.
Does
Um,
is there any like legends or stories about this?
So the Isle de Umbres is the traditional ancestral home of the House Jameau.
Mm-hmm.
This is you know what? Make a history check. It's very easy DC for you. In fact, you're also rolling with advantage because this is your like culture, for
Yeah.
lack of a better way to put it. And I'd say if Rivulet would like to, she can also make the same history
Sure.
check because it's
14.
your culture too.
you're rolling at advantage.
You are.
Katie.
Oh,
I was supposed to.
But also Rivulet should be rolling with advantage too.
Oh,
Okay.
Nope.
The best we got is a 14. And what you pick up from that is that
Oh, my bad.
this is likely the palace of the, well, lack of a better way to put it, the Chateau de Jameau.
Chateau Jameau.
That it's not a full palace, and they very strong. The reason why they sit on the steps to have discussions with their noble leader to give a sense that everybody is to some degree equal
Mm-hmm.
to everyone else that's involved in the discussion. There is no throne, no central area or whatever. They always sit on the steps to have their long discussions. And when, say, someone comes in to meet with the Duke, he sits on the steps and receives them that way.
What's the purpose of the hourglass?
This is some sort of ancient Kasari ruin that has been adapted for these people. And what the hourglasses signify or mean, other than just looking real cool, isn't public knowledge, if knowledge at all.
Okay.
Just that they exist. Obviously, the aesthetics of it are well known. But yeah.
This is how they keep conversations short. They're like, all right, I'm going to come sit on the steps.
Start the hourglass.
You don't have to go into specifics, but do they talk at all about specifics of how Christine Saxton is actually getting the food to them? Like a port or whatever.
She has used the favor of some sort of very powerful being to keep her ship from being detected if she approaches just right.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
So I'm
Um,
guessing the
can I
nameless
ask a
captain
question?
found her.
Yeah.
No, let me be clear about something, Tallulah, and then we'll get to what Rivulet was going to ask. When you spoke with the captain with no
Oh!
name,
She did mention
She
she upgraded her
had
ship.
already
Mhm.
encountered
Yeah.
Captain
Yeah.
Sexton.
Yeah.
Saxton.
Yeah.
Rivulet,
the
you had something you were
problem.
about to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about the climate here. Because it seems to me that if they can last indefinitely with food, then the easiest thing to do would be to get seeds to them.
Mhm.
And
So
then,
the Isle des Ombres is it's sort of a desert oasis sort of island. Like there are parts of it that have that, and that's the parts that people are living on. But the vast majority of it is not soil that you can grow crops in very easily. They depend on shipments of food from outside.
okay.
And then my final question is, I I'm vaguely listening to the conversation that they're all having, but I'm curious about Stephanie. Is she listening? Is she like, or just being watchful? Like, what is her deal? I would like to know. I want to roll an insight about her.
Go ahead and roll an insight.
Love to.
There is absolutely something for you to discover.
Excellent. 22.
Ooh.
Ooh, nice.
She knows you're watching her.
Very cool.
This
All
isn't...
right.
And with a 22 insight, she has subtly communicated that to the people who are currently present in this conversation.
Very nice.
This is probably a question for Essequa, but Fairless would ask it in this moment, which is, do you think she knew right away and told her? Like, at what point do you
So,
think
there
she
is a
told
negative here.
everybody? Because
What's
Let me be
Yeah.
clear about the way this functions so we understand. And this is out of character, I understand, but I want to be clear about how this functions. You can't communicate with each other right now.
Mm-mm.
yeah, this was
Okay.
this is Lauren out of character, but also with the intent that if Essequa was to relay that afterwards, she would ask this question, which is, how much of the conversation did we hear before everybody was informed that they were being scryed on? Because we can't guarantee that anything after they were informed is technically the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, like
To answer that for Essequa so you can answer it later,
mhm.
they didn't really shift their conversational topic all that much because in the end, it doesn't seem like they have a lot to hide. The only issue is, of course, that Lemaire and Fontaine are here at all.
Okay.
The topic of conversation is not secret. They're an open rebellion.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
Sim, I just want to clarify because the Lemaire that's in the room, Christopher, or Crystal,
Christoph.
Christoph.
yeah.
Sorry, I don't have my contacts in.
You're right.
The whole reason I bailed was because I realized that the Lemaire that was at the head of the group that hired me was
Yeah.
just going to be more of the same.
Or no, not that you knew. You basically came to that conclusion on your own.
Okay.
There wasn't a lot that gave you that impression necessarily. We talked about this when you were creating your character, but it was something that your character was like, I just don't. I mean, we're just replacing one dude with another dude,
Yeah.
right? Well, what's the difference? And without you knowing this person very well, you couldn't make your decision. You just were like, I'll take this with me instead.
But they're talking about the allegiance being to Lemaire or to Fontaine. I lost that.
Lemaire.
Okay.
Basically,
Lemaire
they
is
would
the
support his
royal
bid for the
house.
crown.
Yeah, I just missed which of those names that
If
was.
the Duke, the important detail here, the important lore drop beyond everything else, is that if the Duke Jameau supports Lemaire's ascension
Okay.
to the throne over the current heir, then then House Lemaire, when becoming emperor, will then allow the House Jimo to become independent.
Yeah.
Clarifying question for me, not just because chat pointed it out, but I was going to ask anyway, just for transparency's sake.
Gotcha.
When we started scrying, when we came in, now that I know that she's aware that we are listening, did she look up at us, or did she just make that known without
So
acknowledging
she's
our
been
presence?
playing. She's been playing as though she's not paying attention to anything and just kind of.
Got it. Okay. So unclear.
And
But
that she let,
very likely.
for
Yeah.
clarification for Latia Essequa, she let everybody in the room know, or just the Jamos?
The Jimo's closest to her, but with a 22 insight, you notice that it basically sort of rippled out
Yeah.
from the people that were informed nearest, and then
Okay.
so on.
Got it. Okay. That is all the information that I need or care to know, I guess.
That's the discussion they're having, and then the scrying ends. And I think that's a good opportunity for us to end the episode.
Ooh.
Wait, let me end the episode by saying, yeah, so they knew we were there.
How
What'd you say?
how
They knew we were there. They knew we were watching.
immediately?
Hard to tell, but probably. But it didn't seem to change the tone of their conversation, so it might not matter.
Did they know it was?
I don't know if they knew it was us.
That seems
But-
unlikely. I can actually probably answer that as a divination person.
Yeah,
Usually,
that-
you just see the scrying sensor. You just see like a ball.
Yeah, so they wouldn't have known like who was scrying on them, just that they were being scryed on.
And it sounds like they had someone looking out for it if she pegged you. She pegged
Yeah.
us pretty immediately.
It was the woman who was standing to the like kind of the right and back of the Jamos. The one who didn't look like she was paying attention.
I'm not
She was-
certain. I'm not certain who that is.
And again, this is a good spot for us to end our
Yeah.
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So let's go over our credits real quick.
Whoa, credits.
Cartography by Shay and Peku. Cartography by Shay and Peku Sci-Fi. Maps by Luke Stratton. Maps by Eightfold Paper. Music by Tabletop Audio. Character tokens by Greek46. Custom tokens by Shay and Peku Tokens. Overlay art by Pax Stream. Custom world map by Freckles Sketches. And logo by Luke McCay. And thank you
Oh, I
to our
gotta add
moderators,
that. Yeah.
Elf and Strike Red Kite. And of course, thank you to our players. Katie, what do you got going on?
Hello, everybody. My name is Katie. Katie Downey, aka Goblin Katie. You can find me on all the socials and Twitch and stuff at Goblin Katie. I am just palling around right now. I am nominated for an award for the Gamer Awards. I'm nominated for oh god, Community Champion, I think is the name of it. I wasn't planning on talking about this, but here I am. So there's a whole bunch of wonderful people that are nominated for a whole bunch of wonderful efforts that they do within the streaming community. So I hope you will head over and give them some love. You can find the link on my socials, and I am done talking about that because I am uncomfortable promoting myself. So, have fun with that. Big shout out once again to Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realm. Thank you so much to them for giving us this wonderful code for the Electrum chest. And once again, that code is Quaid. Hoot. Okay. And you did the mod thing, so I think that's it for me. I think, yeah.
Cool. I'm Lauren Urban. You can find the stuff I'm doing at lauren-urban.com. That's also my Blue Sky. because I like to keep things simple. But more importantly, if you like the way that our logo looks, and if you like the awesome art of my character that showed up at the beginning, then you should check out LukeMcCay.com, LukeMcKay, of the clan McCay. And if you would like to commission him yourself, mail at LukeMcCay.com. Mail as in like in the mail Pony Express kind of thing. Yeah.
With
That's-
the stamps and the envelopes.
With the but it's the version of that because yay, technology. So yes. And let him know that we sent you. Thank you. Bye.
Hello, I am Jen Kretschmer. You can find me on the interwebs as Dreamwisp or dreamwisp.bisky.social, or Dreamwisp Jen on Twitch, doing the things. That's what I got. Oh, if you want to watch a fun movie, The Gorge just came out on Apple TV Plus, and it's really, really fun. And I was telling them on break, it is, and seriously, this is, if you watch it, you'll understand why. This is the description I gave. It's 90s rom-coms mixed with a little bit of Indiana Jones, mixed with The Manchurian Candidate, mixed with Silent Hill. And I promise it is all of those things, and it's really, really fun. So yeah,
That is the most random combination, and I'm here for it.
it's so genre breaking.
Yeah.
Like it's super, super cool.
Nice.
So worth your time.
It's me. It's Latia. Hi. That's my name. I'm gonna be at MagicCon this weekend. Which means that I will not be in the game on. Actually, I
Next
might
week
be in.
is-
Next
no.
week we have
Next week's
is it,
bonus
is it a
action.
bonus action?
it's a
Okay,
bonus
cool.
action. Yeah.
Well, then never mind. I might still be here depending on what time I leave and if I decide to get dinner or something because it's just downtown and I can just drive home.
Yep.
But yeah, I'll be at MagicCon this weekend. So if you happen to play Magic and are in the Chicagoland area or are coming to MagicCon, find me and say hi. I am not wearing my wizard hat, so you will have to look hard.
Also, in fairness, there's so much D&D going on at MagicCon
There
that
is.
like you can go learn how to play D&D with Tanya DePass. You can do all sorts of cool D&D
There's
things.
so much stuff happening.
Dude.
My FOMO is very high.
I'm sorry.
I
Well,
did not
hopefully-
know that. Oh.
I know, but yeah, like if and this is where it's a fun thing. So like if people like the D&D stuff, maybe at future MagicCons we'll have more D&D stuff and bring more D&D people out. So if you go to MagicCon and you like D&D, tell everybody how much you liked the D&D stuff so that we can keep bringing D&D to MagicCon, and then it will become WizardsCon.
And then we can all wear a wizard hat, just like a frog.
No hats. Exactly.
But that makes it no easier to find Latia
No.
if it's everyone in a wizard hat.
But then
Exactly.
I
then
think
it
just
becomes an
us in a
extra-
wizard hat.
Then it's Wizard Hat Con.
Then
Wizard
it's a
hat.
challenge, and I'm here for a challenge.
Then it's just that then my mission is complete, and everybody wears wizard hats, and it's the Where's Waldo of Finding Me, but with wizard hats.
I love that. Where's
That's
Latia?
all.
Look for Latia.
Latio?
Is the
Look
book
to the sky and find.
the book title look for
Look for
Latia?
Latia. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it.
I love this.
I don't know.
Sim?
I think that's it. So, I have my start playing game that we talked about at the beginning of the show. Again, the first 2 sessions are going to be free just to get people familiar with me as a DM and get them in. And honestly, there's a command in chat you can type. I think someone probably
already
has already
did.
done it, but if not, yep. And that's it. So I guess try not to die, and I will see. I think I'm going to take next week off. I need a break. But we will see you next week.
I think they'll
Bye.
see us.
We'll figure it out.